Hello everyone and welcome to this new video on Power BI and Power Query. In this video, I have 4 fields of this data that I actually grabbed from an Excel file. And these fields, I have a date, product name, channel name, and an amount. What I would like to do is simply go ahead and do a group by, but when I do a group by, I notice that on the aggregation, if I actually do a operation here, I can only choose the ones that are actually on the drop down. So a sum, an average, median, man, max. What happens if I want to do another type of operation, perhaps a standard deviation? So you're going to notice that it's not actually listed here. So I'm just going to click on sum. I'm going to do a sum of the amount column, and I'm going to do this by product name, for example, or yeah, let's do it by product name. And this is going to be called sum. Just going to do a simple group operation with just one column and just one new row doing the sum operation. So this is what happens. This is the total sales. And perhaps I would like to go ahead and change that step. Of course, you can click on the gear icon, go to advanced, and now you can do and add more aggregations. For example, I want to do count rows to see how many rows we actually have. Transactions, we can name these transactions. Add aggregation, we can do an all rows, so we can have group rows. And last one, I'm gonna repeat the sum, but I'm gonna call it STDV, so standard deviation. And I'm still gonna do this operation, the sum. So you're gonna notice that I'm gonna have the sum and the STDV that are basically the same. But when you actually do this operation in the formula bar, you're going to notice that it's actually doing a list operation. So it's trying to do a list.sum. And most of the aggregations can actually be applied on a list, which is basically just a column. So what I can do is that I can find what other options I have for list operations, and see if I can actually replace this list.sum with something on the lines of list.standard deviation. So for me to actually look at what other functions we have available that actually use a list, all I have to do is click on the FX icon to create a custom step. And then I'm gonna use hashtag shared. This is gonna bring all the variables of my environment. I'm gonna convert to table, and here I can actually just filter to see the list dot. And all of the list functions basically start with list dot. There are some other functions that operate with list, but primarily we're gonna just use the list dot filter to find out what other functions we actually have available. And I'm just gonna try to actually go here and see. And right here we have list.standard deviation. Let me see, do we have anything else? We can actually sort this ascending. So we have list.standard deviation, we have list.sum, and yeah, we can actually use this one. So list.standard deviation, there we go. I'm just gonna copy it. Let's copy. Let's go back to the group rows. And on the last one, the list.sum, this last one, I'm just gonna replace this list.sum with list.standard deviation. And just like that, I just created what is the actual standard deviation. Now, if I wanna have this, for example, for every row of that table, I can just expand this group rows to have the date and the channel name and the amount. There we go. So we're gonna add a new step. I'm gonna remove all of the steps that were added. So delete until the end, because we don't really need them anymore. And just like that, I have everything that I actually needed. So I have the standard deviation now that can actually go against the amount and see how far we are actually from the standard deviation. And yeah, you can actually see what other operations we actually have available from the list functions and apply it to this group by operation. And in this way, you can just start with a really easy way through the UI and just tweak the code on the formula bar to actually meet your requirements.